The deep hum of engines echoed through the halls of the diplomatic ship Unity as it approached Orion Prime. Through the main viewport, the space station came into view, a massive silver ring floating like a crown in the darkness. Lights blinked from its many docking bays, and ships from across the galaxy moved in careful patterns. Commander Alex Voss stood at the window with his hands behind his back. His uniform was dark blue, trimmed with silver. The emblem of Earth's United Coalition sat proudly on his chest. His face was calm, but his eyes were sharp, watching everything. "This is it," he said quietly. "One last chance." Behind him, his second-in-command, Lieutenant Mara Lin, checked her datapad. "The Empire's delegation arrived yesterday. Security is tight. No weapons allowed, not even personal shields." Alex gave a small nod. "They want us disarmed." "Expected." He turned to face her. "Has the speech been sent to Earth Command?" "Confirmed," she replied. "They approved your final draft," they said. "They trust your judgment." Alex smiled faintly. "They always say that right before something goes wrong." The ship shuddered gently as it docked. A soft chime rang through the cabin. The doors slid open with a hiss. A team of station officials greeted them. Tall beings in neutral gray robes, faces calm but unreadable. One of them, a silver-eyed diplomat named Vrel, bowed slightly. "Commander Voss, welcome to Orion Prime. We hope these talks bring peace." Alex returned the bow. "So do we." As they walked through the corridors of the station, Alex looked around. The place was polished and cold, like it had never seen dirt or war. Banners from many worlds hung from the walls, symbols of fragile unity, but not peace. In the main hall, the Galactic Empire's delegation stood waiting. Tall, armored guards flanked their diplomats. At the center was High Chancellor Kareth Solon, dressed in white and gold robes, with a long pale face and sharp gray eyes. He didn't smile. Alex stepped forward and extended his hand. "Chancellor Solon, I hope we can speak plainly." Kareth looked at the hand for a moment. Then he took it, briefly. "We shall speak," he said, voice smooth and low. "But I wonder what Earth thinks it has to offer." Alex held his gaze. "Respect, if you're ready for it." There was a pause. The room felt colder. Then Kareth turned and gestured toward the meeting chamber. "Let us begin." As Alex followed him, he didn't look back. He knew what was behind him, the weight of Earth, the hope of peace, and the edge of war. He had come with calm words, but he was ready to walk away with silence. The meeting chamber was vast and circular. A large round table sat in the center, made of polished black stone that shimmered under the overhead lights. Flags from every known planet lined the curved walls. This was where peace was supposed to be made. Neutral ground for enemies to talk. Commander Alex Voss took his seat on the Earth side of the table. His team sat beside him. Lieutenant Mara Len, Advisor Kenzo Malik, and Tech Analyst Dr. Lyra Den, each carried a tablet with data, proposals, and backup plans. But Alex carried something else. Patience, and the hope that reason still had value. Across the table, High Chancellor Kareth Solon sat surrounded by Empire officials. His posture was perfect, his expression calm, but his eyes watched Alex like a hawk watches a mouse. Next to him sat General Thalos, a towering figure in gray armor, and Advisor Nira Vel, who was known for her cold logic and sharper tongue. A soft chime echoed through the chamber. The talks had officially begun. A neutral moderator, from Orion Prime, a being with smooth, pale skin and glowing eyes, stepped forward. "We welcome all delegates to these peace talks. The goal is clear. Prevent war. Please begin." Kareth stood. He spoke slowly, each word carefully chosen. "The Galactic Empire has shown patience. We allowed humanity to grow, to rise. We did not crush you when your first ships left Earth. We offered trade. We allowed you to join the stars. But now you spread too far. Too fast. You claim systems that belong to others. You take technologies not yet yours to hold." He paused. "Peace requires order. Order requires structure. The Empire is that structure. Then he sat down. The room was quiet. Alex stood. He didn't raise his voice. We thank the Empire for past cooperation. But let me be clear. Earth does not owe its place in the stars to mercy. We earned it. We bled for it. We built what we have. He looked Kareth in the eye. We are not guests, we are equals. A faint twitch appeared at the corner of Kareth's mouth. A smirk. Barely visible, but there. Then Advisor Niravel spoke. If Earth wishes to be seen as equal, it must accept limits. You stretch your colonies near restricted zones. You mine resources in disputed space. This is not strength. This is recklessness. Alex responded calmly. We are willing to discuss boundaries. We are not willing to be treated as criminals for surviving. General Thalos leaned forward. Survival is not the same as power, Commander. Alex didn't flinch. Power does not give you the right to rule others. Silence followed. The neutral moderator stepped in, sensing the growing tension. We will take a brief recess. Delegates may rest or review proposals. Talks will continue in 1 hour. The chime rang again. As the Empire's delegates stood and left, Kareth paused beside Alex's chair. He leaned in slightly. Your tone is brave, Commander. But I wonder how long can Earth afford bravery? Alex didn't rise. He just said, long enough. Kareth walked away without another word. Mara leaned closer. He's testing us. I know, Alex said. And he thinks we'll fail. He looked down at his notes, then closed the tablet. We won't. Commander Alex Voss sat in the private meeting room, assigned to Earth's delegation. The walls were soundproof. The light soft. A large screen showed a star map of the disputed zones between Earth and the Galactic Empire. Red markers glowed across the borders, areas claimed by both sides. His team sat around the table. Lieutenant Mara Lin stood near the screen, arms crossed. Kenzo Malik, the advisor, tapped nervously on his tablet. Dr. Lyra Den, quiet and thoughtful, scrolled through intercepted reports. The air was heavy. They're not here for peace, Mara said. They came to lecture and remind us who they think they are. Alex nodded. That was clear. Kenzo leaned forward. They're stalling, stretching these talks. Meanwhile, their fleets are shifting. Small movements, but steady. Every day they position closer to the outer colonies. Lyra looked up. It's not a coincidence. Alex took a breath. They want to keep us talking while preparing for war. If we sign something weak, they'll say it's our surrender. If we walk away, they'll call us the aggressors. They're setting a trap, Kenzo said. Before Alex could reply, a soft chime rang at the door. A station official entered quietly and handed him a sealed message. It was marked priority, confidential. Alex opened it. The message was short, written in neutral code. Source confirms Empire intends no treaty. Prepare fallback. He read it twice, then passed it silently to Mara. She read it, then looked up. From who? Likely one of the station observers. Could be a sympathizer. Could be someone who just doesn't want to see a war. Alex replied. Kenzo leaned back. So now what? Alex stood and walked to the window. The stars outside looked peaceful. But he knew better. We continue the talks. But we don't beg. He turned back to them. If they want to stall, fine. Let them. But we hold our line. We offer fair terms. If they refuse again, we walk. Mara nodded. We ready for what comes after? Alex gave a slight smile. We've been ready. Earth doesn't bluff. The room fell silent for a moment. Then Lyra spoke. They still think we're the same people who begged for trade deals a century ago. They haven't seen what we've become. Alex looked at the map again. They will. Later that evening, Alex stood alone in his quarters. He held a small photo in his hand. His family, back on Earth. His wife, his daughter. They were smiling, standing by the ocean. He placed the photo on the desk and sat down. He recorded a message. Voice calm. To Earth Command. The Empire shows no intent to settle. We will complete the talks, but I advise preparing all colonies for potential conflict. I will not provoke, but I will not yield. We are not what they think we are. Voss out. He ended the recording and stared at the dark window. The stars looked distant, and tomorrow the room would be cold again. The chamber felt colder on the third day. The same circular table, the same tight faces, but something had shifted. It was in the silence, the careful steps, the sharper looks exchanged between delegates. Commander Alex Voss took his seat, calm but watchful. Across the table, High Chancellor Kareth Solon stood slowly. He didn't smile. Today, Kareth said, we present the Empire's final offer. We believe it is more than generous, considering Earth's position. He nodded to advisor Niravel, who stood and activated a display. A map of space lit up. 3 glowing systems, Vera Prime, Dagon 6 and Helios Reach, flashed red. These systems, Nira said, will be ceded to the Empire. They are currently in contested space, but clearly fall within our sphere of influence. Alex narrowed his eyes. Those were Earth's oldest frontier colonies, self-sustaining, well-defended, and vital to trade routes. Nira continued. Earth will also halt all production of the quantum relay technology it recently developed. The designs will be transferred to the Empire for review. Kenzo, sitting beside Alex, muttered under his breath. They want our homes and our future. Alex remained silent. Finally, Nira added, Earth will reduce its outer fleet patrols and submit to neutral inspections every cycle. She shut the display off. Kareth folded his hands. In exchange, the Empire guarantees Earth's protection and continued access to trade networks. Peace, Commander. This is how we offer it. The room was silent. Alex stood. He didn't look at his team. He didn't need to. He looked directly at Kareth. This is not an offer, he said. This is control dressed as kindness. You want us weaker. You want us quiet. Kareth's voice was soft. We want balance. No, Alex said, louder now. You want obedience. You think if you take enough, we'll thank you for leaving us scraps. Kareth's smile was thin. Be careful, Commander. Refusing peace has consequences. Alex took a slow breath. Then he reached down and picked up the datapad that held Earth's original peace terms. He tapped once. The screen went dark. Our proposal is withdrawn. Gasps rippled through the room. Kareth's smile vanished. Alex continued. Voice clear and steady. Earth will not surrender its people, its progress or its place. If this is what the Empire calls peace, then we choose silence. He turned and walked out from the table. His team followed without a word. As the heavy doors slid shut behind them, the chamber remained frozen. Kareth sat very still. No one spoke. Not even the stars outside dared to shine too brightly. The corridors of Orion Prime were quiet, but not empty. As Commander Alex Voss and his team walked through them, heads turned. Delegates from other worlds watched in silence. Some whispered. Others simply stared. The walk from the chamber to Earth's delegation quarters felt long, but Alex's steps were steady. No one said a word until they reached their private room. Once the door closed, Kenzo exhaled sharply. That's it, he said. We just declared the end of peace. No, Alex replied, turning to face them. We declared the end of pretending. Mara Lynn looked at him. They'll spin it. The Empire will say we were unreasonable, that we walked away from unity. They will, Alex agreed. But the truth won't stay buried forever. Doctor. Lyraden sat down, her voice soft but sure. You did the right thing, Commander. Alex didn't answer right away. He looked out the small window at the black sky. They pushed too far, he said. And they thought we'd keep bending. Elsewhere, in the Empire's private chamber, Chancellor Kareth Solon paced slowly. The other Empire delegates sat still, unsure of what to say. Advisor Niravel finally spoke. Perhaps we demanded too much. Kareth turned sharply. We offered peace. If they reject it, they choose chaos. General Thalos, arms crossed, spoke without looking up. Or they simply chose pride. We underestimated their resolve. Kareth narrowed his eyes. Pride without power is just noise. Let them make noise. But there was tension in his voice. Doubt, small but growing. News traveled fast. By the next Earth rotation, the headlines were everywhere across the communication networks. Earth walks out. Talks collapse on Orion Prime. United Coalition rejects Empire terms. Tensions reach breaking point. On Earth, many watched the footage of Alex's speech. Millions stood still in public squares, homes and military bases. The moment he said, "We choose silence," the crowds erupted. Some cheered, some prepared. But all understood. The time for words had ended. Inside the war room back on Earth, military leaders met behind closed doors. Ships were quietly repositioned. Border systems raised shields. Civilian evacuation plans were updated. Alex's message had reached every corner of the coalition. Back on Orion Prime, Alex recorded a final message to Earth Command. Talks have ended. The Empire will not offer peace unless it comes with chains. We are returning home. Begin preparations, but stay calm. We do not seek war, but we are no longer afraid of it. He ended the recording. Mara stood nearby. The Empire expected us to crawl. They always did, Alex said. He looked out one last time at the station, the symbol of diplomacy. Then he turned away. We don't crawl. The news spread faster than light. Within hours of Earth's walkout, communication hubs across the galaxy flashed with updates. On every planet with a screen, one headline repeated over and over: Earth withdraws from peace talks, Empire left in silence. Across space stations, border worlds and deep colonies, people watched Commander Alex Voss walk out of the chamber, his face calm, his voice steady. The final words echoed in every language. If this is what the Empire calls peace, then we choose silence. Some called it bold. Others called it foolish. But everyone listened. On the planet Vera Prime, one of the 3 colonies the Empire had demanded, the people stood in the central plaza. The governor paused the workday to play the footage. Miners, farmers, and engineers gathered. Many had feared Earth would trade them away to save itself. But when they saw Alex refuse the terms, they stood taller. Children clapped. Fertrans saluted the screen. We're not alone, someone said. No, the governor replied. We're Earth, and Earth remembers us. In the Galactic Empire's inner council chambers, things were different. Chancellor Kareth Solon sat at the head of a long metal table, watching the footage again. The room was silent. He didn't blink. He didn't speak, but his jaw was tight. Advisor Niravel broke the silence. Our analyst report increased fleet activity along the Earth borders. General Tholos nodded. They're not backing down, they're preparing. Kareth's voice was calm but cold. They want to provoke a response. They want us to strike first. No, Tholos said. They want us to see them differently. Kareth looked at him. And do you? Tholos met his gaze. I see they're not afraid of us anymore. Kareth looked back at the screen. He did not answer. Back on Earth, in a hidden base beneath the Arctic ice, command staff moved quickly. Red alert drills were activated. Supply lines were rerouted. Defense grids powered up across the colonies, but there was no panic. People were focused, determined. Lieutenant Marilyn stood with Alex in a communications room aboard their return ship. Reports were streaming in from every colony. Support messages, status updates and readiness reports. No hesitation, she said. They're all standing with us. Alex nodded. Because they finally believe we'll stand for them. He tapped a screen. A message came through from an independent system near the edge of Empire space. It read, "We support Earth. If war comes, we will not help the Empire." Mira smiled. That's a first. Alex looked out the viewport. Stars stretched in every direction. Endless quiet, watching. Everything has changed, he said. Not because we shouted louder, but because we didn't kneel. In a quiet station orbiting Helios Reach, an old historian recorded a new entry. The day Earth walked out was not the start of a war, but it was the end of their silence. And when silence ends, the galaxy listens. The command center, aboard the Empire's flagship, Dominion's Will, was silent. Screens glowed with reports, fleet maps, and footage of Earth's walkout. Every high-ranking official in the room felt the weight of what had happened, but none dared speak first. Chancellor Kareth Solon stood alone at the center console. He had watched the recording of Commander Alex Voss walking out of the peace talks more times than he could count. He had expected fear. He had expected hesitation. Instead, he had seen calm, steady resistance. He finally spoke, voice low. "They do not fear us." Advisor Niravel stepped forward. "They've rallied their colonies, and they've gained support from 3 neutral systems, small ones, but the message is clear." General Thalos looked up from a tactical display. "We pushed too hard. They didn't bend. They chose dignity over comfort." Kareth's eyes didn't move from the screen. "They chose war." Thalos shook his head. "No. They chose not to be ruled." Far from the Empire, in Earth's coalition command on Luna Base, Commander Alex Voss stepped into a wide chamber where the Earth Council awaited him. Behind them, a massive window overlooked Earth. The blue planet spun slowly, calm and bright. One of the council members stood. "You refused the Empire's terms." Alex nodded. "I did, because they weren't terms. They were chains." Another member asked, "Do you believe war is now inevitable?" Alex answered without pause, "No, but I believe peace will never come through fear." They looked at each other, then back at him. "Then you've done what few ever have, Commander," one of them said. "You reminded the galaxy that respect must be earned, even from an empire." News of Earth's stand continued to spread. On distant moons and hidden stations, small groups began to speak louder. Planets under silent pressure from the Empire found new courage. The stars were shifting, not because of battle, but because of choice. Alex Voss returned to his home after months away. His wife met him at the landing platform. His daughter ran into his arms. He held her close, her small voice muffled against his uniform. "Did you stop the war?" she asked. He looked at her, tired, but hopeful. "I stopped the silence." In his private chambers, Chancellor Kareth Solon stood alone. No aides, no guards, just the quiet hum of the Empire around him. He opened a secure file. It was Alex's last message from the peace chamber, recorded by neutral observers. He played it one last time. "We will not surrender our people, our progress, or our place. If this is what the Empire calls peace, then we choose silence." Kareth watched the still image of Alex Voss on the screen. The man had no crown, no army in the room, just words, strong words, true words. Kareth lowered his head slightly. For the first time, not in anger, not in defiance, but in recognition. He had made a mistake, and across the galaxy, the stars watched. A new power had risen, not through conquest, but through courage.